EPY1. Desire is never satisfied. Lacan, the void, and the success trap. Why is it that even when you achieve everything you dreamed of, you still feel like something is missing? You achieved what you wanted. The career, the success, the love. You did everything right. And yet, something doesn't fit. Something is missing. That missing isn't a mistake. It's the script. Jacques Lacan would tell you without anesthesia, desire is never satisfied. And not because you're broken, but because you're alive. Welcome to the void, the most human of all. Welcome to the void. Jacques Lacan was not just another psychoanalyst. He was a disruptor, a provocateur, a heretic within psychoanalysis itself. And he was also one of the most influential and misunderstood thinkers of the 20th century. Your message? Desire doesn't seek satisfaction. It seeks persistence. It's a wound that never heals, a lack that never fills, an engine that drives you to live, but paradoxically, never leaves you alone. What if success wasn't the goal, but the trap? Lacan said that what we long for, to be recognized, loved, fulfilled, is only a substitute, a decoy. Because true desire is structurally impossible to fulfill. We always want something more. And just when we think we've reached it, it slips away. It transforms. It runs a little further, like that dream that fades away just when you are about to touch it. The most disturbing thing is not that you don't get what you want. The thing is, when you get it, you discover that it wasn't that. Has it happened to you? You achieve what you wanted, you raise the bar, you reach the goal, and nothing. A second of euphoria, and then the same emptiness as always. Lacan would tell you, that's not a mistake. It's the script. The modern subject, successful, but empty. We live in a society that tells us, if you want it bad enough, you will achieve it. But nobody tells you what's going on when you achieve it, and you still don't feel complete. The system wants you to desire, to pursue, to buy, but never stop. Because if you did, you would see the truth behind it all. Desire has no object. It has structure, and that structure is made of lack. Lacan understood it with a harshness that hurts. We are speaking beings, full of holes, incomplete. And what makes us human is not our conscience. It is our lack. We are gaps that speak, flaws that think. And desire, far from being a path to fulfillment, is a symptom of that original wound. Which wound? That of having been thrown into language. Yes. For Lacan, speaking is not just communicating. It is to lose something. When you enter the symbolic world, when you learn to speak, to name, to signify, you leave behind something irretrievable. Full union with the other. Impossible completeness. Since then, you live looking for something you can't name. Something that has no form, and yet it obsesses you. So why do we keep chasing success? Because the system, capitalist, meritocratic, hyper-productive, has turned that structural desire into a consumer machine. He promises us that if we work hard enough, if we try hard enough, if we succeed, let's fill that hole. But that doesn't happen. Because what is missing is not a thing. It is what constitutes us. Welcome to Object A. This is where Lacan drops a theoretical bomb, which is also an existential bomb. He said that we never desire real objects. We desire what he called the Object A. That lost object, irretrievable, imagined. fantasized. It has no form. It has no content. It does not exist as such. But organize all your desire. It's what you think you're missing, what you chase after without knowing it. And the most tragic thing, when you think you found it, it wasn't that. What happens when success doesn't fulfill you? You go into crisis. I'm depressing you, you get frustrated, or you double the bet. Maybe it wasn't this job, but another one. It wasn't this partner, but the next one. It wasn't this body, it was the one after. And so, you keep wishing, and the system applauds, because it wants you to want. But you're bleeding out. So are we doomed to desire forever? Yes, but also no. Because Lacan did not come to say that we must kill desire. He came to say that we must recognize it, stop chasing ghosts, and begin to live the lack with dignity, making peace with emptiness. What if emptiness isn't a problem, but the condition that makes everything possible? It is from lack that we love, from the lack we create, from desire we move. And maybe, just maybe, if we stop asking success to save us, let's start living more truthfully. If what you just heard left you with a lump in your chest, don't ignore it. That not it is your wish talking to you. It's the part of you that knows something doesn't fit, that he can no longer pretend to be fine when he feels empty. So subscribe right now. This channel is not about being successful. It's about reveal the truth behind desire. And if you're ready to look inside, even if it hurts, you're exactly where you need to be. Desire is the relationship of being with its lack. Jacques Lacan, Epistole 2. Final part. Dwelling in lack. How to stop chasing desire and start listening to the unconscious. You already know that desire, according to Lacan, is never satisfied. And now comes the most brutal part. Continuing to pursue what you want without understanding where it comes from can be the most elegant form of self-deception. So the question is not just, what do you want? The real question is, where do you want it from? Let's bring this down from the philosophical heavens to the mud of your life. This is not theory. This is raw psychoanalysis, applied, painful, liberating. Step 1. Identify your unconscious desire, even if you think you know what you want. Lacan said, the unconscious is structured like a language. That means that your unconscious does not hide, he talks all the time. Only it does so in symptoms, in dreams, in lapses, in absurd choices. And above all, in what you repeat unintentionally. Do you want to identify your unconscious desire? Start by looking at your most common mistakes. Example: you always fall in love with emotionally unavailable people. You're getting close to success, but something inside you sabotages it at the last minute. You push yourself so hard that you break, and then you beat yourself up for not performing. That's no coincidence. That's structure. That's where your unconscious speaks. To do? Start asking yourself this question with surgical honesty. What am I really gaining when this goes wrong? Maybe when you sabotage yourself, you get attention. Or you avoid a bigger fear. What if you do succeed? That answer is your true wish. Step 2. Listen to your enjoyment, not your pleasure. Lacan distinguishes between pleasure and enjoyment. Pleasure is what you like. Enjoyment is what destroys you, but you still repeat. Because enjoyment is linked to the unconscious, to repetition, to drama, to the symptom. Example: you say you want peace, but without realizing it, you provoke fights. You say you want freedom, but you get trapped in dependent relationships. You say you want to rest, but you work until you get sick. Because Because pleasure doesn't obey your rational side. It obeys your unconscious desire. And as long as you don't listen to him, you'll be his slave. Step 3. Break the ego ideal and the mirror trap. Lacan proposed an existential bomb, the mirror stadium. When we are babies, we do not have an integrated image of ourselves. But one day, in front of the mirror, we see ourselves. And we believe that we are. That ideal image, that coherence. And from there, everything we do seeks to live up to that image. That was never real. Practical translation. When you think you should be stronger, more successful, more stable, you are trying to live up to that idealized self. But that image is a fiction. And as long as you continue to desire from that fiction, your desire will never be yours. It will be the desire of the other, of the system, of your parents, of the culture. Example: you want to be successful, but not for yourself. But because you learned that only by being the best would they love you. That wish is not yours. It's inherited, it's imposed. It's an image in the mirror that enslaves you. Step 4. Stop seeking completeness and start dwelling in the lack. Here comes the most paradoxical and most liberating step. You are not broken, you are incomplete, and so it is not solved. It is inhabited. Desire isn't the problem. The problem is believing it has a solution. What to do with this? Stop obsessively pursuing goals that you think will heal you. Start choosing things that express your desire, not to calm him down. Example: don't write a book to prove your worth. Write it down because your desire wants to speak. Don't be with someone to save you. Love it because it resonates with you. Don't work like crazy to feel worthy. Work from your desire, not from your debt. That's the difference between acting out of lack or from a lack. One destroys you, the other constitutes you. Step 5. Accept that there are no guarantees and still choose. Lacan said, there is no other of the other. There is no ultimate guarantee. There is no definitive truth. There is no manual for life. And that, although it sounds desperate, is what gives you freedom. Because if there is no external guarantor, then only you can take responsibility for your desire. And how do you do that? Choosing, even if you're not sure. Wishing, even if you don't know what. Taking action, even if there is no promise of fulfillment. Final example. A woman in analysis says she never made a decision without consulting someone else. His mother, his partner, his therapist. Until one day, when faced with the question, what do you want? He doesn't know how to answer. Silence, discomfort, tears. And there he realizes he had never desired from within himself, only from within the other. That was the beginning of his true desire. What if you don't? Life will go on. You'll keep running, seeking, achieving, losing, repeating. And deep down, always feeling something is missing. Because without awareness of desire, you live on autopilot. And the worst thing is not wanting the wrong thing. The worst part is not knowing what you're longing for from the wound. The Lacanian cut, Jacques Lacan, did not come to give you tools to be happy. He came to show you what already lives in you, even if you don't want to see it. And his message, although uncomfortable, is brutally beautiful. You are not incomplete because you are missing something. You are incomplete because you are alive. And freedom is not in filling that gap. It's in dance with him. So now ask yourself, Where are you wishing from? Is it your desire or the others? Are you chasing completeness or expressing your lack? And most importantly, what would happen if you stopped running and started inhabiting yourself? If this episode stirred you, hurt you, or awakened something in you, don't ignore it. Subscribe now. Not to fill you up, but to empty yourself of what you are not. Because in the void, your truest wish may appear. Desire is the relationship of being with its lack. Eric Leonard Berne.